Big Noon had what on paper is the best game of the day. Number 3 Iowa defeating Penn State at Duke Slater Field. Final score was 23-20. And WWE champion Big E nailed it when he was asked by the Big Noon crew for his score prediction.
We need a prediction. I think I know what you're doing, but we need a prediction. Who wins and why?
Hawks by 1,000,000.
We need a prediction.
Hawks by 1,000,000. 3 points is just enough. Look, Penn State is 10-6 in its last 16 trips to Kinnick, but the Nittany Lions are just 11-11 against Iowa since joining the Big Ten. And in the last 10 games that Penn State has played, 4-7 when the Nittany Lions and their opponent are ranked inside the AP top 5. Check this out. The Nittany Lions haven't beaten a top 5 team when they were also ranked in the top 5 since 1999 when they knocked off, I kid you not, number 4 Arizona 41-7 at State College. What I'm saying is Camila Cabello was right. Something's got to give, something's got to break, but all I do is give and all you do is take. Yes, I'm still talking about Iowa Penn State. This while the Hawkeyes not only lead the FBS in INTs to start the season with 12, but have beaten their last 5 ranked opponents and put up more than 50 last week against Maryland. Y'all must have forgot Roy Jones Jr. not there. For the first time since, November 17, 2018 against Illinois. Also, nobody has scored more than 24 on Iowa since November 23rd, 2018. All right, we know that Jahan Dotson was a dude. Walked into Kinnick, leading the Big Ten in catches with 35 and receiving TDs with 6, but he only had 8 catches, 48 yards today. Well, there was a big reason for that. Sean Clifford goes down with an injury that is undisclosed in the first half of the game. He was in street clothes by halftime after suffering whatever that was, and we all hope that he's going to be okay. But Taquan Roberson took over in the first half and had a 17-10 lead at Kinnick to work with. Riley Moss suffered an injury while picking off his 4th pass this season. That dude is absolutely a Reggie Cleveland all-star, a Sean Kilpatrick all-star. And the Hawkeyes end up with 4 interceptions in this game? Like, come on, dog. What are we even doing here? Clifford and Roberson combined for all 4 of those picks and 0 touchdowns. Nada, zip, zilch. The Hawkeyes, with 16 interceptions in 6 games, are off to a 6-0 start for the first time since 2015. It's never looked more like Iowa will represent the Big Ten West in the league title game against perhaps the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 7 Ohio State stomped a 66-17 mudhole in Maryland and walked it dry. The Buckeyes have won every game they played against Maryland since the Terps had the audacity to join the Big Ten, and they have stunted while they have done it. Coming into this game, they were averaging 58.3 points per game against Maryland and winning by an average of 36 points per game. Both of those gonna go up a little after this game. Ohio State looks even more like a team that should have beat Oregon. You lost to Oregon. We're not gonna let it go. Here we are, though. Number 9 Michigan held on to beat Nebraska 32-29. Nebraska had a shot to win this with a score that was knotted at 29 and 3 minutes left to play. And then poor Adrian Martinez got his cookie stolen trying to get more than he should have. I felt so bad for him. I felt so bad for Nebraska. I felt so bad for Scott Frost. He finished 18 of 28 for 291 through the air with 3 tutties and a pick. That also had a fumble to go along with it to set up what was the winning field goal for the Wolverines. Jackson State transfer Dalen Baldwin caught 6 passes for 64 yards. Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins combined for 212 rush yards and 34 attempts for 3 TDs. Like, they was absolutely running the ball. But Dax Hill, Tulsa's own Dax Hill made a play to seal the win, and he is the best natural football player I've ever seen with my own two eyes live. And yes, I have seen Kyler Murray play football live. Plus, Dax is from Tulsa, and Tulsa boys absolutely smack. Now, number 11 Michigan State whomped Rutgers 31-13. Hello. Running back Kenneth Walker, the third, had 233 rush yards on 29 rush attempts. Peyton Thorne passed 339 on 16-27 with 3 tutties and a pick. And then Jalen Naylor had just 5 catches for 221 yards, dog. And they had 4 tutties of at least 60 yards or more against what was formerly a very stingy Rutgers defense. If Michigan State beats Indiana next week, and they should, the Spartans will be 7-0 heading into their game against Michigan, where I hope and pray Michigan is still, on the level, ready to give us a game. Okay, but the Big Ten has a big note here. You have a 2014 Big 12 problem. Allow me to elaborate. What held the Big 12 back during that year wasn't that they didn't have great teams. Baylor, Texas Christian, they were really good. It was that they had to change up their whole steez because they learned the hard way. Y'all will do whatever is possible to keep one or both of those teams out of a playoff. I don't know whose idea it was to have a 4-team invitational when you have 5 power conferences, but here we are, which is to say, you may have an undefeated Michigan. You may have an undefeated Michigan State. You may have an undefeated in the Big Ten, Ohio State. You may have an undefeated Iowa. You may have a Penn State that manages to knock off an Ohio State, get into a Big Ten championship game. But what you will not have is 2 teams in the college football playoff, because y'all are going to make like the Donner Party and eat each other alive. This can't go on. I'm saying no. Expand this playoff to 16 teams so you get as many of your squad in as should be in. But no, you want to keep telling me about how a 16-team playoff waters down your little college football sport. Man, you're talking about, look, I watched the pregame lead-in to Nebraska and Michigan, and all anybody had to sell was the 900 wins they had before. Nothing about what they've done in the last 5 years, because they ain't done nothing in the last 5 years. But I had to watch a young, cherubic Scott Frost implore AP voters to vote for Nebraska to win the 97 national championship. And nothing is more obscene to me than having to stomp for votes for a national championship when all we would have to do is build an apparatus where you turn the invitational into a tournament where the scoreboard can survive and can call who is the national champion. I can't stand this, man. These boys work too hard for dudes in suits, smoking cigars, sitting on their couches at home to tell me who they think is the best team in the country. Hey kinfolk, I appreciate you for watching. Subscribe here and ring the bell so you don't miss the latest upload to the channel. Also, be sure to watch more videos here, like FS1 Studio shows and the best from Fox Sports and Fox Sports Digital.